6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala, read by Soundithavam. The registration of hand sanitizers is compulsory. A facility has been provided for migrant workers and their families to make online complaints. The media minister says this country achieved many victories by facing the challenges in a positive manner. The chairpersons of the Valikanda and Rambava Pradeshya Sabhas have been temporarily suspended. Sri Lankan and Russian specialists in virology, as well as top administrators, met to discuss the Sputnik V vaccine. In world news, COVID-19 new variant raises R number by up to 0.7. An extraordinary Gazette notification has been issued prohibiting the import, manufacture, storing, distribution, wholesale and retail of hand sanitizers that are not registered with the National Medicines Regulatory Authority. The chairman of the Consumer Affairs Authority, Major General Retired Shanta Disanayake, published the Gazette notification yesterday. The direction is expected to come into effect from the 1st of February 2021. The Gazette notification further noted that hand sanitizers without the registration number displayed in a conspicuous place on the pack or container will also be banned from import, manufacture, storing, distribution, wholesale and retail. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment said it has provided the facility for migrant workers and their facilities to make online complaints. The SLBFE issuing a statement said the new option was available via www.slbfe.lk web portal, and once a complaint is made, a dedicated number would be directed to the mobile number of the complaint. Further updates will be provided once the complaint is directed to the relevant department. The facility has been made available following many complaints by migrant workers stranded in multiple countries, especially in the Middle East, seeking to return after the COVID-19 outbreak. The government has come under severe criticism for not expediting the return of these migrant workers, despite their remittances making up a key part of Sri Lanka's foreign exchange earnings. Minister Kelia Rambokwala says this country achieved many victories by facing the challenges in a positive manner. Last year, many world countries faced difficulties due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Those countries are pushed back due to this reason. However, if any country wants to overcome this situation, it should focus on a target line. The minister made these comments while addressing the media heads and other ministry officials at a special ceremony yesterday to officially commence work for the year. This meeting was held at the auditorium of the Government Information Department. Many officials, including the chairman of the institutions coming under the purview of the ministry, attended the meeting. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The chairpersons of the Valikanda and Rambava Pradeshya Sabhas have been temporarily suspended. The governor of the North Central Province said the suspension will be in effect until the allegations against the duo are investigated. 4 more coronavirus-related deaths have been reported yesterday. With this, the number of COVID-19-related fatalities increased to 208. Sri Lanka's COVID-19 numbers saw another surge yesterday as 557 persons were tested positive for the virus. According to the Department of Government Information, 235 of the newly identified patients are close contacts of earlier cases linked to the Paliagoda fish market. The remaining 2 are arrivals from the United Arab Emirates and Italy. The total number of COVID-19 infections confirmed in the country to date now stands at 43,856. Recoveries from the virus, meanwhile, climbed to 36,155 yesterday as 826 more patients were discharged from COVID-19 centres and hospitals. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The embassy facilitated an online meeting between the Ministry of Health of Sri Lanka, the Ministry of Health of Russia, and the Gamaleya Research Institute of Epidemiology and Microbiology of the Ministry of Health of Russia. In the height of the final trials, research and registration of COVID-19 vaccines around the world, the Sri Lankan and Russian specialists in virology, as well as top administrators, met to discuss the Sputnik V vaccine, which is developed by the Russian Gamaleya Research Institute. The parties discussed the technology used in production of the vaccine, its safety and efficiency, the results of clinical trials, and the status of approvals. The Sri Lankan side praised the Russian specialists of the research done on the virus modifications in Sri Lanka and the immunization program of Sri Lanka. The Russian side, in its turn, assured that it is ready to share all the necessary scientific data with Sri Lanka and to hold a series of further discussions to ensure the Sri Lankan party possesses the full spectrum of information. Both parties underlined the importance of international scientific collaboration in face of the pandemic and agreed to expand relations between the health-related institutions of the two countries. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Ports Authority of Sri Lanka has been declared an essential service by way of an extraordinary gazette dated December 30th, 2020. Accordingly, workers and officers have to report for duty without failure. That came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In world news, in the headlines, COVID-19, new variant raises R number by up to 0.7. The US Congress overrides Trump defense spending bill veto, and the UN says that Iran to enrich uranium to 20%. The new variant of COVID-19 is hugely more transmissible than the virus's previous version, a study has found. It concludes the new variant increases the reproduction or R number by between 0.4 and 0.7. The UK's latest R number has been estimated at between 1.1 and 1.3. It needs to be below 1 for the number of cases to start falling. Professor Axel Gandhi of London's Imperial College said the differences between the virus's type was quite extreme. The Imperial College study suggests transmission of the new virus variant tripled during England's November lockdown, while the previous version was reduced by a third. Cases of COVID-19 have begun to increase rapidly during the second spike, and the number of cases recorded in a single day reached a new high on Thursday. The US Congress has overturned President Donald Trump's veto of a defense spending bill, the first time this has happened in his presidency. The Republican-controlled Senate held a rare New Year's Day session to debate the move, which had already been voted for by the House of Representatives. The $740 billion bill will fund defense policy for the year to come. Mr. Trump, who leaves office in a few weeks, objected to certain provisions in the bill. The Senate voted 81-13 for the National Defense Authorization Act. A two-thirds majority is required to override a presidential veto in both chambers. It comes just 2 days before a new US Congress is due to be sworn in. Iran intends to start enriching uranium to 20% purity, the UN's atomic watchdog said, its most significant breach of an international nuclear deal so far. This remains short of the 90% required to make a nuclear bomb. But under the 2015 agreement, Iran was supposed to keep enrichment below 4%. Iran began breaching the deal after President Trump took the US out of it and reimposed crippling sanctions. However, the UK, France, Germany, Russia and China all hope it can be revived. Back to the headlines of this bulletin of world news. COVID-19, new variant raises R number by up to 0.7. The US Congress overrides Trump defense spending bill veto. And the UN says that Iran to enrich uranium to 20%. And that's world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Looking at development news, the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Lebanon, in collaboration with the Presidential Secretariat of Sri Lanka, Foreign Ministry and Sri Lankan Airlines, repatriated a group of 271 Sri Lankans by a Sri Lankan Airlines charter flight recently. This was assisted by the Ministries of Foreign Affairs and Immigrants, Labour, Directorate of General Security and Directorate General of Civil Aviation, Rafiq Hariri International Airport in Beirut. On negotiations, the Lebanese government waived off fines for 70 undocumented Sri Lankan expatriates for visa overstay. Ambassador Mrs. Shani Karunaratne and all embassy staff facilitated the repatriation process at the Rafiq Hariri Airport. That's development news. And looking at sports, Manchester United moved level on points with Premier League leaders Liverpool as a Bruno Fernandes penalty saw off stubborn Aston Villa. Fernandes drilled his 11th league goal this season and his 5th from the spot into the bottom corner to punish Douglas Luiz's clip on Paul Pogba and hand United an 8th win in 10 games. Bertrand Traore's calm finish underneath David De Gea had deservedly drawn Villa level, cancelling out Anthony Martial's stooping first-half header for the hosts. But Fernandes' penalty extended United's hold over Villa. They have now won 32 and lost just one of the past 44 league meetings between the two sides and leaves Liverpool top only by virtue of goal difference. That's sports news. Business news up next. The Minister of Labour, Nimal Siripala de Silva, said that employers who violate the Employees Provident Fund Act and those who fail to pay salaries and contributions for EPF and ETF on time would be severely dealt with this year. Quote, there will be no pardon for defaulting employers this year, unquote, he cautioned. The minister disclosed that the Provident Fund contribution defaults were around 12 billion rupees and this was very unfair for the workers. He observed that there was a heavy congestion in the magistrates' courts with regard to default cases when the plaintiff goes to the tribunal and they are in the process of finding a solution for this as well. That's business news, economic news to follow.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The Sri Lankan stock market entered 2020 on a positive note yesterday, marking a year in which the Colombo Stock Exchange has seen indices indicate noteworthy resilience and attract record-breaking levels of trading activity. The benchmark all-share price index closed 2020, recording a growth of 10.5%, the highest annual increase the index has ever seen since 2014, and only the 12th occasion the index has seen a double-digit percentage growth in the CSE's 35-year history. The ASPI ended 2020 on 6,774.22 points. Sri Lanka's ASPI was also recorded as the best-performing stock market index for the month of September 2020, with the index recording a remarkable 12% growth during the month. That's economic news.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
When will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
On to the weather report to conclude. Showers will occur at times in the northern, eastern, north central and Java provinces and in the Hambantota, Nuwara and Matale districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere after 1 p.m. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabragamo province and in the Gaul and Matara districts. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The registration of hand sanitizers is compulsory. A facility has been provided for migrant workers and their families to make online complaints. The media minister says this country achieved many victories by facing the challenges in a positive manner. The chairpersons of the Valikanda and Rambeva Pradesha Sabhas have been temporarily suspended. Sri Lankan and Russian specialists in virology, as well as top administrators, met to discuss the Sputnik V vaccine. In world news, COVID-19 new variant raises our number by up to 0.7. That concludes this morning's news broadcast.